David, first of all, tell us about the thrill of playing in Soccerite.
Well, to be fair, it's my fourth Soccerite. I'm buzzing. I'm kind of buzzing because it's the same thing in the last 3 years where I thought we've had a team that can win, and we end up losing for one reason or another. But buzzing
a bit. No?
Sorry?
Not due to the goalkeeper.
Yes, due to the goalkeepers. Last year, Dave Harewood got injured in the second half, and we had a tremendous stress, and unfortunately we lost. But just buzzing to be here. This is a wonderful setup with regards to the players, the actors, the singers, everyone who's involved in it. But more importantly, it's a wonderful setup because we have an opportunity to raise a lot of money for UNICEF, and the charitable aspects of this is something that you just want to get involved in.
I always find that the celebrities are desperate to be footballers.
Yeah.
And for them it's almost a bigger event than for you because you've played at Old Trafford loads of times.
I've won at Old Trafford.
You've won at Old Trafford loads of times. They've never played there.
Sorry, I'm not selling my my appearance at Old Trafford very well lately, but yeah, won at Old Trafford, beat Man United, fantastic.
But for the celebrities, I mean, for them this is like their chance to pretend to be a proper footballer.
To be fair to them, a lot of the guys play football regularly, and I think that's the good thing about this. That we end up with a group of, as you say, celebrities who compete locally for wherever they 5 sides in football, and I mean a lot of the guys I've played in charity matches with them. So it's not like they can't play football but just want to be in Soccerite. These are guys who genuinely can do a bit. Other than the injuries, which is usually the problem that we have at Soccerite, we've got a chance of winning, and we've got the best celebs that Soccerite has ever had for England.
Talk about
I haven't even joined a training session yet, so I'm assuming what I'm saying is right.
Talk to me about the money and what's raised and how great that the cause
Well,
is.
that's the thing. I mean, we want to win the game. As I say, it's my 4th Soccerite. Unfortunately, we haven't won one yet with England. But irrespective of the result, this is all about raising money. And everyone who's listening, anyone who's watching on the day, as long as they can contribute one way or another, then we are helping kids around the world. It would be nice to lift that shield, win it, but as long as we keep raising money, then people are getting helped, and that's the main focus of the whole Soccerite.
Just back from Prague, just tell us about how proud you were of West Ham winning a European trophy. Trophy.
I'm buzzing. I'm still buzzing. Yeah. It was a wonderful trip. Met a lot of West Ham fans on the way out there. They were optimistic but cautious. Obviously, watching a game and West Ham, it wasn't the greatest game of football, but West Ham winning and then getting a flight back with a load of West Ham fans, it was the best feeling ever. 58 years since they had European success, and they are now European champions.
Did you ever think you'd see West Ham win a trophy? 'Cause I was
No, not at all. No, yeah, but why would I think West Ham are going to win a trophy? And that's what I think the creation of the Europa Conference League. What we had obviously the other day is the opportunity for West Ham to compete against other teams in Europe who aren't Champions League quality, and I think no one's going to get them confused. But what you got is the opportunity to compete for the 3rd best. It's almost like the League Cup in England, the Carabao Cup. When Man United won the Carabao Cup, everyone's talking about the success of Manchester United season winning a trophy. Well, the Europa Conference League is essentially the European Carabao Cup. It is a competition that you want to win, that you can then say that you are European champions, as West Ham fans were. I didn't anticipate that West Ham would be competing in a final in Europe, of course, but they deserve it. Absolutely buzzing.
Moyes, David Moyes, does he stay, or does he? In your opinion, he's written himself into the history of the club.
Yep.
Now. He's got 1 more year left in his contract. There is a vacancy at Celtic. Fans were a bit in and out with him all season. What would you do? What would you suggest?
Well, I think the irony of winning the Europa Conference League is that you are European champions, deserved, and we should celebrate that. But then West Ham just avoided relegation this season. The question for David Moyes and West Ham would be, what's going to happen next season? The qualifying for the Europa League doesn't have the financial incentives that qualifying for the Champions League does. So then, if I was David Moyes, I'd be saying, look, if there is an opportunity. I can leave on the right terms now because I've won the Europa Conference League. I've done something that West Ham haven't done for 58 years with regards to Europe. If I decide to stay, then I need to have, or he needs to have, some sort of financial backing. It's whether West Ham have the finances now to be able to give him the backing to go and have a successful Europa League competition next year. But man, the guy's a winner.
So David Moyes goes,
Yeah.
possibly. Declan Rice definitely goes.
Definitely in what sense? That he's already gone.
He's not signed for anybody, but I think I would be amazed if he was there on the first day of the season.
Yeah, but they can win the Europa League next year. Then they're in the Champions League.
Right. If Deck leaves, he can go and win the Premier League or the Champions. He's an England's established. Come on, you know where I'm coming from.
No, I love Declan Rice. I think he can play for anyone. And I spoke to West Ham fans out in Prague. Not all of them, but the point was, it's kind of like people resigned, or fans seem to be resigned that he might be leaving. But it wasn't like we want him to leave.
Oh, I don't want him to leave.
It's a different sort of interpretation that I think if West Ham fans were saying, look, I tell you what, Deck, go, we love you. You've just won a trophy, first trophy we've had since 1980. We want you to go and sort of bet yourself. That's a different conversation to, yeah, we know he's going to leave. If Declan loves West Ham, he can see Champions League football in 2 years' time. 12 months. It's not going to hurt him. He's a young man. Do I sound like a romantic here?
You do. You don't sound like the David James who I interviewed as a player, who I think would take Champions League over.
No. I think of Tottenham. I think Tottenham's a really nice comparison at the moment. Qualifying and playing in Champions League without winning it, compared to winning a European trophy. What camp would you rather be in? Financially, the Champions League obviously pays, and I get that. But at the same time, if you're not going to win it, then why be in it?
True. Man City tomorrow. Is there any way they can't win this?
Bastoni, Darmian, Serbi, Dumfries, Martinez, Lukaku, Onana. Essentially Inter Milan could stop them from winning it, because Inter Milan aren't a bad team.
They're not a bad team.
I want Man City to win, don't get me wrong, but I just think the idea that Man City turning up means they've already won it is way off the mark, because Inter have a lot of quality. Lukaku's coming into, I want to say form, but like Lukaku is now looking like the player that everyone wanted to sign 3 or 4 years ago.
I mean, City are the best club side in the world, aren't they? So
If they win the Champions League, yes.
And what does Pep do? He's won it all then. Does he stay and win it all again?
What, he goes and takes over David Moyes at West Ham, keeps Declan Rice there, and they win the Champions League in 2 years.
I love you, so funny. Honestly.
Yeah, I think with Pep, I mean, it's interesting having won the Premier League 3 years in a row. Well, the records can be sort of the continuations, and win the Champions League on Saturday. Why not go and do the treble again next year? Do something that no one else has done. It's not just about winning games of football or winning trophies. It's about doing something that no one else has done. And when you look at this City side, Haaland is the one. I mean, this guy has been phenomenal this year, but there is so much more that he could improve on. And Pep as a manager could improve Haaland, would go... Yeah, sorry, I'm just thinking about it. I mean, they could do a double treble, theoretically. They could do the quadruple. No one's done the quadruple. I mean, these are the things as a manager. If you've got the best team in the world, then these are things you want to go and win.
You've got 3 lions on your shirt. England have got 2 games coming up: Malta, North Macedonia. The goalkeeping situation. I know Jordan Pickford's done nothing wrong, but he was involved in a relegation battle.
Wow.
Aaron Ramsdale's a mighty fine goalkeeper and nearly won the title.
Yeah, do you know what I like about that? Is the fact that Jordan Pickford is prefixed with did nothing wrong, rather than Jordan Pickford has done fantastically well for England. And that's the reality. When he plays for England, he is fantastic. And he has been for, 4 or 5 years now, whatever. I think the issue with Aaron Ramsdale and Nick Pope as well, both qualified for Champions League, as you said, Everton in a relegation battle, is that Nick Pope and Aaron Ramsdale had opportunities earlier in the season to play for England and show their qualities. 4-0 against Hungary, I think, for Aaron Ramsdale, and the 2 Europa Conference games, Nations League games, sorry, for Nick Pope. And in those 3 games, neither of them demonstrated what Jordan Pickford has done regularly for England. So it's not that they're not capable or able to become England's number 1, but they've had opportunities, and therefore they need more opportunities to prove that they are.
Okay, but you're in a position, and you played it, right? There's only one. You're a striker or a midfield player or a defender. There's more than one. There's options for you to come in and be given games. As a goalkeeper, there's only one. I mean, I think Jordan Pickford's done nothing wrong. You've come back and be saying actually
he's been fantastic. Yeah. That's
now the other 2 get a game.
Okay, but I like both goalkeepers a lot. I think Aaron Ramsdale has got the potential to be one of England's greatest goalkeepers. I think in Nick Pope as well, they have the potential. But given the opportunity to play for England, they need to show that they are the guy that's going to take that shirt. And I think where Jordan playing club football, I mean, it's one of the ironies or the paradoxes in football is you have to play well at a club level to get into England side. But once you're in the England side, your club form doesn't actually matter. It's what you do for England. Now, these guys, having had great club seasons, given the opportunity, and I think Gareth has to experiment or allow them to play, they just have to prove that they're ready for the shirt.